When people point to where Gilbert Arenas' downfall began, most people will say the infamous decision to bring guns into the Wizards locker room on December 21st, 2009. But those who have followed his career know the very turning point was actually on April 4th, 2007. The night the Wizards were playing the Charlotte Bobcats when Gerald Wallace missed a layup and fell into Arenas' left knee, tearing his medial collateral ligament. Little did we know, the player we once knew would never be the same. That very moment was the beginning of the end of one of the most promising careers in the NBA during that time. Gilbert Arenas rose to stardom so quickly, but he crashed just as fast, leaving many wondering, what could have been? Gilbert Arenas' rise began with the Golden State Warriors. He fell through the second round of the draft and was selected with the 31st draft pick by the Golden State Warriors. He decided to wear number 0 on his jersey that signifies to all the doubters that the number and minutes he would play in the NBA. Gilbert Arenas would then go on to become NBA's most improved player in 2003 and becoming a restricted free agent within the first 2 seasons of his career. Several teams were looking to sign Gilbert Arenas, including his own team, the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Clippers, Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz, and the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards offered Gilbert Arenas a 6-year, $65 million contract. The Golden State Warriors had a problem on their hands. They were not able to match the Washington Wizards' offer because not only were they over the NBA salary cap, but Gilbert Arenas was also the second round pick. Had the Golden State Warriors drafted Gilbert Arenas in the first round, they would have had the salary cap section to match the Washington Wizards' offer sheet. The NBA would later create the Gilbert Arenas rule, which would allow teams to resign restricted free agents who were not first-round picks. Gilbert Arenas decided to narrow his 2 choices to the Washington Wizards and his hometown, the Los Angeles Clippers, leaving his fate through a flip of a coin. He would ultimately sign with the Washington Wizards for 6 years worth $65 million. By Gilbert Arenas' second year in Washington, Gilbert Arenas was an NBA All-Star, and by his third year, he was already competing for scoring titles, averaging 29.3 points per game, his highest ever. Wizards had only been to the playoffs just once in 16 years before 2005 when Arenas had helped lead them to 3 straight postseason runs. He made All-NBA 3 times, the first Wizards/Bullets player to do so since Elvin Hayes in the 1970s. The only other Wizards player to make All-NBA this century was John Wall, and he's done it once. Gilbert Arenas had a knack for coming through in big moments. He made a series of buzzer beaters during that brief time that he was at, including one to win a playoff game against the Chicago Bulls in Game 5 on May 4th, 2005. Gilbert Arenas had hit many other clutch shots during the regular season, including one against the Milwaukee Bucks on January 3rd, 2007, when he turned around and casually walked away, as if he knew the ball was going to go in. 2 weeks later, he would hit another game-winning shot against the Utah Jazz to cap the night off with 51 points and a second game-winning shot within just 2 weeks. Gilbert Arenas holds the franchise record for points in a single game with 60, which was set on December 17, 2006, on a night against the Los Angeles Lakers. That game fell within a 30-day stretch where Arenas scored 50 points or more 3 times. Just 6 days later, after dropping 60 on the Los Angeles Lakers, he would later score 54 points against the Phoenix Suns in an overtime win. Gilbert Arenas was a magnificent scorer. Since 2000, Gilbert Arenas scored 50 points or more 3 times within a single season, joining Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Dwayne Wade, and Allen Iverson. Gilbert Arenas will probably not end up in the Hall of Fame due to his short career, but that shows how good of a basketball player he really was. Gilbert Arenas' height, size, and strength was rare for a point guard during his time. While being 6'4" with broad shoulders, he presented major matchup problems for the opposing guards. He was a bully at the point guard position for years before bigger point guards like John Wall, Russell Westbrook, and Ben Simmons came into the league. Gilbert Arenas' combination of strength, deep range shooting, and a quick first step pushed the boundaries of what was possible. He could shoot from 35 feet and hit a jump shot or pound the ball on the floor and muscle his way to the basket. That led to him being one of the best players in the game at getting to the free throw line. where he shot 80.3% for his career. He averaged as many as 8.8 free throws per game back in 2006-2007. Unfortunately, Gilbert Arenas' career can't be explained without including a wide variety of negative storylines. His knee injury was followed by a frustrating saga between him and the Wizards' medical staff. His post-playing career has been marred by controversial statements and a disconnect with the Washington Wizards franchise. And of course, there is the gun incident in the locker room at Capital One Arena, among the most ill-advised off-court decisions in league history. On December 24, 2009, Gilbert Arenas admitted to storing unloaded firearms in his locker room at Capital One Arena. He soon had to surrender his firearms to security. In doing so, he violated NBA rules against bringing in firearms into an arena. On January 9, 2010, it was also reported Gilbert Arenas and teammate Javaris Crittenton had unloaded firearms in the team's locker room during a Christmas Eve dispute regarding gambling debts. While the DC police and the US attorneys began investigating, the NBA suspended Gilbert Arenas indefinitely without pay on January 6, 2010 on his birthday until the investigation was done. And on January 14, 2010, Gilbert Arenas was charged with carrying a pistol with no license, which is a violation to DC's gun control laws. Gilbert Arenas pleaded guilty on January 15, 2010 to the felony charge for carrying an unlicensed pistol outside of his business or home. On January 27, 2010, Gilbert Arenas and Jarvis Crittenton were both suspended for the rest of the NBA season. On March 26, 2010, Gilbert Arenas was convicted for his crimes and was sentenced to 2 years probation and 30 days in a halfway house. He started his sentence in the halfway house on April 9, 2010 and finished on May 7, 2010. Javaris Crittenton only received a 1 year unsupervised probation, but on November 2011, he would be charged for a murder in connection with the shooting of Julian Jones in Atlanta on August 19, 2011. Gilbert Arenas would return for the 2010-2011 NBA season and decided to change his number from 0 to 9, claiming that he has put the entire incident in the past behind him. Gilbert Arenas only played 21 games during that season while averaging 17.3 points per game. On December 18, 2010, Gilbert Arenas was traded to the Orlando Magic for forward Rashard Lewis. He chose to wear number 1 because Penny Hardaway was his favorite player. Gilbert Arenas was coming off the bench as a backup point guard to Jameer Nelson. The Orlando Magic finished the season with a record of 52 wins and 30 losses, putting them in 4th place in the Eastern Conference and making the playoffs. However, the Orlando Magic lose to the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games in the first round of the playoffs. On December 9, 2011, the Orlando Magic waived Gilbert Arenas. Then on March 20, 2012, he signed with the Memphis Grizzlies to come off the bench behind starting point guard Mike Conley. The Memphis Grizzlies finished with a record of 41 wins and 25 losses and clinched the 4th seed in the Western Conference. However, they fell to the Los Angeles Clippers in 7 games. It was looking like Gilbert Arenas' run with the NBA was over, as his contract with the Memphis Grizzlies was up, and no team was interested in signing him. So Gilbert Arenas left the NBA to go play for the Shanghai Sharks in the Chinese Basketball Association. In his first season with the Shanghai Sharks, he averaged 20.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game and 27.3 minutes per game. He only played 14 games and started in 8 of them. The Shanghai Sharks finished with a record of 10 wins and 22 losses and missed the playoffs. Gilbert Arenas lived an incomplete NBA life. His career was already over at age 30 where he would be in his prime. If he had only stayed healthy, maybe he could have ended up in the Hall of Fame. Maybe he would have led the Washington Wizards to places they wouldn't have been in decades. We'll never know.